Rivers State's last hope: how Otisi unraveled what Oyewole ignored, and how Baka's panel must now act to halt the abuse of jurisdiction and restore justice by John Ebiazan Oshodi. Mr. John Ebiazan, don't come again. In the landscape of Nigeria's legal system, the ongoing conflict over Rivers State's governance, particularly in relation to the financial management and legislative authority of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, has exposed deep fractures within the judiciary. The recent ruling by various courts, including those of Justices Omotosho, Abdulmalik and Oyewole, have brought to light the painful reality of a judiciary that may not always be impartial, often swayed by external political pressures and compromises that threaten to destabilize the very core of Nigerian democracy. At the heart of this struggle in Section 28 of the Electoral Act, a provision that, as Justice Onyekachi Otisi rightly pointed out, does not apply to local elections. Yet, several judicial figures, including Justice Peter Lifo and Justice Joyce Abdulmalik, have overstepped their bounds within legal authority that should not extend to state matters. This overreach has sparked a larger debate: is the judiciary upholding its duty to the people, or has it become another tool in the hands of powerful political forces? Justice James Omotosho, in his ruling, declared the passage of the Rivers State 2024 Appropriation Bill as invalid merely because it was passed by 5 members of the House of Assembly. His ruling was not only misguided but out of touch with the constitutional realities of local governance. The Rivers State Assembly, despite the small numbers of legislators, legally passed the budget under the authority of the Constitution. Omotosho's dismissal of the Assembly's action as a constitutional aberration was a betrayal of the foundational principles of Nigeria's democracy. His ruling also disregarded the fact that the Amewole-led Assembly has declared itself invalid, rendering their objections to the budget legally irrelevant. This judgment directly threatens the financial stability of Rivers State, as it halts the disbursement of monthly allocations and places significant state resources, including public salaries, at risk. The judicial betrayal of both the state's governance and its citizens cannot be overstated. If such rulings are allowed to stand, they undermine the very principles of democratic governance, where the will of the people, expressed through their duly elected representatives, should be honored. Instead, the judiciary has appeared to become complicit in undermining that will through legal gymnastics and political manipulation. As much as Justice Omotosho's ruling represents a judicial misstep, the decision by Justice Joseph Oyewole in a related matter highlights the depth of judicial blindness in the face of legal truth. While Justice Otisi rightly referenced Section 28 to affirm the limitations of federal electoral jurisdiction over state and local elections, Justice Oyewole ignored this critical point in his own ruling. The fact that Section 28 of the Electoral Act applies only to federal elections, governorship and area council elections in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) was crucial in clarifying the boundaries of federal judicial intervention in state matters. Yet, in his decision, Justice Oyewole failed to bring up this critical distinction, paving the way for more legal confusion and political manipulation. The question now lies with Justice Hama Baka, who must decide whether the Baka-led panel will stand firm in upholding the integrity of the judiciary or fall victim of the same external pressures and compromise that have marred previous ruling. The weight of this decision cannot be overstated if the Baka panel does not reverse the damaging decisions of Omotosho, Abdulmalik and Oyewole. The very survival of Rivers State governance, and by extension its people, is at risk. Yes, so I hope that this new justice rules in Fubaras' favor. If not, Rivers State is at risk, and Fubaras is even at a more larger risk of impeachment, because now they would come at him with full force if these 27 lawmakers win in the court of law, because obviously they are not supposed to win. But we don't know this new justice. I just hope that the new justice does the right thing. Rivers State is in the midst of a legal crisis that threatens to engulf not only the state's finances but also the very fabric of its democratic governance. Public salaries, essential services, and the livelihoods of thousands are all at stake as the judicial system falters in its responsibility to uphold the Constitution and protect the people. These are not just legal questions. They are questions of survival, equity, and justice. As a psychologist, I approach this situation from a human perspective. The psychological toll on Rivers State citizens who are caught in the crossfire of this judicial and political battle is profound. Uncertainty, fear, and anxiety looms large as the future of the state's governance is decided in courtrooms far removed from the realities of the people's daily lives. The court's decisions ripple outward, creating an atmosphere of hopelessness and frustration among the citizens who rely on the judiciary to provide clarity, justice, and stability. The waiting game, the uncertainty of awaiting a decision from Justice Barker's panel, only adds to the stress, pushing the people into psychological turmoil as they face the very real possibility that their needs, rights, and democratic freedoms may be sacrificed at the altar of political maneuvering. I'm telling you. Ultimately, this is not just a battle for judicial clarity, it is a battle for the future of Rivers State, the protection of its financial resources, and the preservation of its democratic integrity. Section 28, the rule of law and the principles of justice must be upheld to safeguard the state's governance and the welfare of its people. Justice Barker's decision holds a pivotal role should his panel stand firm against political manipulation and judicial overreach. It will resonate as a powerful affirmation of Nigeria's judiciary's resilience in resisting corruption and external pressures. However, if Justice Barker chooses to ignore what he deeply knows is right, the legal and political future of Rivers State will remain in grave peril. True. The people of Rivers State are waiting and the world is watching. The judiciary now faces a critical choice. Will it champion the rule of law and justice, or will it succumb to the darker forces seeking to undermine democracy and fairness? Yes, so we are watching and we are waiting to see the outcome of his ruling. Painfully, should Barker refuse or yield what he knows deeply is wrong, we can only hope that God's will or the intervention of Nigeria's founding father will prevail, inspiring those with the spirit of courtesy to rise and restore justice. This is not merely a fight for today, it is a fight for the survival and future of Rivers State and indeed Nigeria. The habit of some Nigerian judges succumbing to external pressures or using the vague term reserved for judgments without clear timelines is deeply troubling. It fosters uncertainty, erodes trust, and invites speculation. Justice delayed in this way is justice denied. Undermining the rule of law and public confidence, Nigerians deserve clarity and accountability, not just decisions left in limbo. This practice must stop. Professor John Ibiezan Oshodi. Yes, so it must stop. Oh, I really hope so. My listeners, what do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.